Hello and welcome to Economics 101. This is our first lecture in our series on understanding economics. This is where we'll examine the big ideas in economics and help you understand how economists think. So perhaps the first question is, what is economics? For a lot of people, economics is this mind-numbing study of statistics. Economists have their own jargon. They write in mathematics. From that perspective, economics is about studying the gross domestic product, studying inflation and unemployment rate, and a lot of other factors related to business activity. But economists will tell you the field of economics is way broader and wider than just tracking the nation's output. Indeed, economics is the study of human behavior. Indeed, Ludwig von Mises, the famous economist who helped shape the discipline for most of the 20th century, explained that economics is simply the study of human action. His book, by the same name, is a thorough treatment of the role of economics as social science. So economics is much more than compiling data and understanding the latest inflation numbers. By studying human behavior, economists can explain a wide range of things, from why people vote, why price control doesn't work, why government spending cannot jumpstart the economy, or things like why popcorn costs so much at the movie theater. So the first assumption in economics is everything starts at the individual level. So sometimes we hear people say that Washington should do something or that Congress should pass a law. But Congress is just an aggregation of individuals. And in order to understand its behavior, we need to understand the behavior of each of the individuals that make up the government. Governments don't act, individuals do. So in order to understand what comes out of government, we need to understand the behaviors of the people who make up the government. In the same way as in order to understand the market, we need to understand the choices made by individuals. Economists often ignore individuals. They tend to lump together all consumers into consumption and all bureaucratic decisions into government. This can lead to very problematic analysis. So let's start with the individual. What makes them tick? For economists, the broadest assumption is that individuals are rational and they try to better themselves. This is a simple but fundamental assumption that is at the core of economics. Von Mises talked about purposeful behavior and the need to eliminate felt uneasiness. Basically, it's a fancy way to say that in life, everyone is trying to get ahead. This brings us to another assumption made by economists, and that is that individuals are self-interested. It means that every individual try to pursue its own goal while at the same time providing for better lives for themselves and for their families. This assumption of self-interested individual has very important implication in our understanding of how government works. The environment of the marketplace, however, will turn the greediest human being into a force of good. In a business transaction, no one will see a dime until they provide the consumer with exactly what they want. In this way, one person's self-interest is closely tied to someone else's happiness. When making these exchanges, society is faced with an ironclad constraint. Resources are scarce, but unfortunately our wants are infinite. It means that every society, whether capitalist or socialist, rich or poor, modern or ancient, is going to find a way to allocate resources among competing needs. The price system is what solves this problem. So if a resource is scarce and in high demand, the prices will be high. But if a resource is abundant, the price will be low. Unfortunately, the government often interfere in the price system. For instance, it will set ceilings for prices. Take rent control. That's when the government, let's say in New York City, tells people that they cannot rent their apartment above a certain price. What this does is to artificially increase the demand for apartment while at the same time drying up the supply for apartments. So the government has created scarcity that hurts consumers and is bad for the economy. Wants and needs are infinite, but resources are scarce. Individuals, therefore, have to decide how to allocate their budgets and resources in the way that provide them with the most satisfaction, or, as economists do, provide them with the most utility. In this sense, everybody's making trade-offs and trying to figure out how to best allocate these scarce resources.